What's good, fight fans? It's Ashley's Corner. Shout out to the LDBC. And I want to remind everybody to tune in to the Smoke City Mobcast tomorrow night, every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Make sure you stop by and show some love to the LDBC family. And I want to make this video before they had that podcast, because I know this is going to be one of the topics of conversation. And I'm going to try to get in that podcast. Now, originally, when I look at this fight from the outside by glancing, before the fight got close, before they were 30 days out and all of that, I was saying Danny Garcia. I thought Shawn Porter really leans in and he kind of dives in. It looks like he's like outside of double Dutch ropes. That's what it looks like to me when Shawn Porter's in the ring. He's outside of double Dutch ropes and he picks his time, and you got to run in before the ropes hit you and you mess up the double Dutch. That's what he looks like. And when he jumps in, that's kind of what he looks like to me. A lot of times he's successful depending on who he's fighting. But when it comes to Danny Garcia, with somebody that has great timing and a flash hell of a left hook, I just look at it as him getting caught with that left hook. And since when I look at Shawn Porter, when he fought Keith Thurman, his legs did wobble 3 times off of one good punch at 3 different times of the fight. And that just makes, he got a nice chin, but at the same time, if those punches can wobble you from Keith Thurman, I'm not even saying that Thurman's a light touch, because he's not. But I'm saying his legs got wobbled during that fight. When Keith Thurman fought Danny Garcia, I didn't see the same from Danny Garcia. So it's just possible that Danny Garcia can make Shawn Porter's legs wobble during their fight if he gets caught with that perfect left hook, or worse, and get dropped during the fight, which wouldn't be the first time he hit the mat. But I don't think Danny Garcia has ever hit the mat. You know what I'm saying? And Danny Garcia does have a good poker face when it comes to fighting. You really don't. When it comes to him taking punches, you really don't see him being hurt off of a punch too often. You don't really see it. So when it comes to that, when you look at that, as far as their chins, I give Danny Garcia the benefit of the doubt. I give him a notch ahead above Shawn Porter. But looking at it further, deeper, getting closer to the fight, and listening to everybody's point of views, Shawn Porter has a bigger chance than what I thought he did, and I'm closer to it being a 50-50 fight instead of just hands down Garcia winning the fight. This is, to me, a 50-50 fight now. Excuse me. When you look at it, it seems like Shawn Porter has been training for this fight for a while. When you look at the first time Shawn Porter asked to fight Danny Garcia, and he did that whole little Burger King fucking crown on his head and did it WWE style and whatnot, that was a minute ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, he been ready to fight Keith Thurman again for a rematch for like a year. So, he never seems like the type, when he's not fighting, I guess you would call it his off season or whenever he don't have a fight, he doesn't seem like the type to let himself go. You know what I'm saying? Like, he stays in shape. Danny Garcia, on the other hand, a lot of times when I will be covering AB, he'll be with AB partying, or vice versa. AB will be with Danny Garcia and they'll be partying. So he do get his party on. I never seen Shawn Porter partying. Now, but he was off after fighting. Danny Garcia was off for what, damn near a year? Something like that? After he fought Keith Thurman, I'm more than sure he was letting himself go. I'm more than sure he wasn't getting up in the morning running or doing his ab workouts and shit. I'm more than sure that was not going down. You know what I mean? And it kind of shows right now that he's getting, dropping his weight and whatnot. I did see, shout out to Quest X, I did hear a video that he did, and he said that he was, Danny Garcia was looking bad in sparring. I did see his workout tape or whatever, and he did look kind of slow. He did look a little heavy in the midsection. He had love handles, okay? This was weeks ago, but at the same time, that just goes back to tell you that, Shawn Porter stays ready. If you're ready, you never need to get ready. And I seen some work that Shawn Porter was doing, and Shawn Porter looks good. Okay, he looked good in doing his workout and his little highlights and whatnot, and his training with his father and shit. He looked good, a whole hell of a lot better than Danny Garcia did. And I hear both fighters talk about they need to, well, I know Danny Garcia kept saying that, you need to be, you have to have a certain mental to fight me. It takes a lot out of a fighter to fight me and all that other bullshit. But, I mean, from the outside looking in, it don't look like that. If anything, it takes a lot to fight Shawn Porter. He's the one that's going to be breathing down your neck, jumping all over you, sweating on you and shit like that, smelling his breath and shit. Like, that's going to be Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter's going to be in your face, all over you, barking in your motherfucking face like a rabid-ass dog. That's how Shawn Porter fights. If anything, you need to be mentally prepared to fight Shawn Porter, not Danny Garcia. I don't see it like that. And Shawn Porter needs to do, honestly, all he needs to do is stay away from that left hand, and he knows that. I believe he was asked about the left hand and how do you stay away from it. He said draw it out of him, a lot of feints and fakes, and I agree with him. And that's something that Shawn Porter does very well. And he feints a lot, and he could possibly draw it out of Danny Garcia and come back with some good counters. But when I go back, when you look back at the punching power of both of these men, Danny Garcia really didn't fight anybody at 147 that he hurt like that. That was a good fighter. All right, I'm not talking about no fucking Bam Bam Rios. Okay, I'm not talking about fighters like that. I don't really, he do have good power, but I don't know if he's able to stop Shawn Porter. I don't think that's going to happen. It's it's kind of possible for him to drop Shawn Porter, but it's just as possible for Shawn Porter to drop Danny Garcia. You don't really know because Danny Garcia really hasn't fought nobody top tier at welterweight besides Keith Thurman, and that's a fight that he lost. Now, Shawn Porter's been in the division for a while, and I just think that it's some things that he know how to do well that I really don't see Danny Garcia doing in any of his fights. Like his footwork, he can dance around Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter can dance around Danny Garcia during his fight. I believe he's quick enough to. Like Danny Garcia doesn't move a lot. Like he got 2 left feet or something. He really just doesn't move a lot. That's just how he fights. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you're fighting somebody with quick feet, you really got to get with the program or you'll get walked all over during the fight. And it's possible that he can do that, but his jab got to be nice, and he got to not get baited by Danny Garcia. As far as Shawn Porter, he got to know what he's doing and don't get baited by Shawn Porter to get caught by that goddamn left hook. But I also feel if Shawn don't rise to the occasion, that I don't think he's going to stay fighting at welterweight. He's either going to go up in weight, or it might be his last fight. If he don't rise to the occasion, if you can't beat Danny Garcia, or if Shawn Porter can't beat Danny Garcia, then you can't beat Keith Thurman. You can't beat Errol Spence. You don't really have anybody else to fight. You know what I mean? You might as well do what your daddy said and retire. Matter of fact, your daddy talking like he pulled a plug on your operation, whatever the hell he feels like it. Whenever his hat turns, whenever his hat bends, he'll do that shit. Whenever he feels like it, whenever the wind blows. That's how much control he has over his career, which is crazy. But at the same time, like, now if Danny don't rise to this occasion, you don't win this fight, man. Danny, you might as well retire too. And that's just how I feel. Like, as Danny don't want to fight nobody. You don't want to fight Terrence Crawford. You don't want to fight Earl Spence. The only people you down to fight, the only person you down to fight is Keith Thurman again because you lost to him. You really didn't want to fight Shawn Porter, but that's just who you fighting. I honestly can do without Danny Garcia being in the professional boxing game because he really doesn't fight people that the fans want him to fight. He might have did that shit at 140, but you're not doing it at 147. So I heard him utter the words that he was going to move up. His ass do that shit. He's a real fool. But I'm going to support that because I want to see him knocked out. And don't judge me. That's just how I feel about Danny Garcia. But when it comes to Shawn Porter, Shawn been waiting for this fight forever because he wanted to fight Keith Thurman. All right. He already lost to Keith Thurman. That's why he wanted to fight him again, and he wanted this fight. But since this fight right here is for a title, he should be over and done with the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? I really want to see Danny Garcia versus Earl Spence more than I want to see Shawn Porter against Earl Spence. I just rather see the matchup of the guy that Danny Garcia really thinks he has power and he doesn't really use his feet to move around that much. I think Earl Spence and Danny Garcia will meet in the middle of the ring and slug it out until somebody drops. And I would rather see that than Earl Spence fight Shawn Porter. But like I said, this is a 50-50 fight. And at first I was giving the edge to Danny Garcia. I'm kind of feeling Shawn Porter, but right now I still don't know. I would probably have to wait until the weigh-in the day before the fight, and I'll probably make another video, quick short video, just giving, my thoughts of who's going to win and my prediction for the fight. But this right here, man, like Shawn Porter can win by boxing. I think he can win on points. I think if Danny Garcia catches Shawn Porter and hurts Shawn Porter, he could win on points because Shawn Porter might get dropped in 1 or 2 rounds. But that's all. If Danny, I don't see Danny Garcia winning on points if he don't drop Shawn Porter. Period. I don't see Danny Garcia stopping Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter's never been stopped. I don't see Shawn Porter stopping Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia's never been stopped. So I really think this fight's going to go all 12 rounds and go all the way down to points. What I don't want to see is 2 conservative-ass boxers in the ring, which I doubt I'm going to see because of the little bit of history that these 2 fighters have. And the fact that Shawn Porter is a straight dog when he fought. But Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman was a lackadaisical fight for me. I think both of them was fighting very conservative for most of the fight until things started heating up and really getting good during the fight. But, I hope I just don't see that. But, again, I'll make another prediction that right now this fight's 50-50 for me. Always like and subscribe to the channel. Peace.